And now it's time for the ridiculous.
What kinds of things make people piss?
And how many suitors exactly has she dismissed?
Siri, what are some locations for a lover's tryst?
Oh, darling, surely there must be a list.
A list?
A list?
A list?
A list?
You're telling me it's all here on this bleeding list? That's preposterous and ludicrous.
Well, actually, it's all quite
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridic. You list.
Welcome to The Ridiculous. I'm Sally Brooks.
And I'm Jen O'Neill, and we are back with more fun lists for you this week.
Hello, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. It is the Wednesday when we're recording this, the Wednesday before Easter. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but we did not put out a episode last week, and that's my fault. My fault? And I'm sorry. But I got
I'm going
busy.
to let you take the blame on this one. I'm not even
you
share
didn't
it with you. I'm kidding.
You didn't fight me on it.
I didn't. She was like, can we skip this week? I was like, that's fine.
Yes,
No, it was just one of those crazy hectic weeks for everyone where, we just couldn't find the time.
We couldn't find the time. We
You
did
know?
find the time to go to Zumba, but we could not find the time to record this podcast.
We did Zumba. We did.
We
I was
did
so
Zumba.
proud of myself for
I know.
I was up until 2 the night before, and then I got up and I thought I wouldn't make it, but I showed up 9:45.
You showed up and you showed
zoomed
out.
my little heart out.
You
did.
did. You did it. We danced. We came. We danced. We went home. It was great.
I have to plug. Okay, I don't get paid for this. I wish I did, but I've been taking these. I got like targeted these ads for like Mary Ruth Organics, like liquid vitamins or whatever.
Okay.
It totally looks like Lucille Ball, like I Love Lucy, like Vita Vita Vegemin or whatever. Like it's like a big bottle and you take 2 tablespoons and it was like it swore that it'll change your life. But I have to say, it is like I've had so much more energy than I have previously, and I feel good, and like I don't like even get like a little bit of like a hangover. Even after a night out until 2 a.m. I still didn't get a hangover, and I still had energy to come do a very long, hard Zumba class.
Yeah.
Just saying, Mary Ruth's Organics liquid vitamins, and if they want to pay me to continue to keep saying that, I will.
Yeah. Mary Ruth's Organics Liquids Vitamins.
They're great.
It doesn't quite like
Vita
roll
Vegemin.
off the tongue.
No,
but...
it doesn't.
But I'm sure I will start getting targeted now.
Yeah.
My phone
If you're
is right
listening
here.
to this, you're going to start getting targeted ads.
And just know, according to Jen, it works.
It does work. I'm going to order another bottle. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I
did a show. I wish I could remember the name of the company, but I did a show. It was like a corporate show for it's not an energy drink. It's like a electrolyte replacement plus something else. And I can't remember the name of it, but it is, apparently it was developed by this doctor who was making it for cancer patients who get like so dehydrated.
BioLife.
BioLife. Okay, thank
Your
you.
BioLite or BioLife?
BioLite.
Yeah, I know. I met that girl before. The girl who's, I guess, dad invented it.
Yeah,
right?
her dad invented it. And now
Okay.
she runs the company, and I did a show for the company, but everybody was saying like the reason why most people know it is because it is apparently like a amazing hangover cure.
Yeah,
and they're like yes, cancer patients, but also. And at the show, I was like, talking to the people and like, oh, what are you here? And the one woman was like, oh, my husband works there. I'm just a fan of the product. And I was like, oh, you're just getting out, drinking a ton. And she was like, no, actually, I'm recovering from cancer. And I was like, great.
Oh, God.
I was like, cool. Thank you. She had a good sense of humor, though. So
yeah, I think it's
cool.
pretty much the same principle behind like Pedialyte, right? And those liquid IVs. Yeah, that was the old school. That was like, in the early aughts, we were chugging Pedialyte to save our lives. It worked though. I will say that.
But now we have Mary Ruth's organic veggie
Liquid
drink
vitamins. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We do.
So what do you do for Easter?
My family for Easter, we always do. No, I will say that this goes for any holiday in my family. It's all Italian food, but then we'll have like the one thing that like society tells us we're supposed to have.
Right.
So it'll be all Italian food, and then there'll be a ham.
Yeah.
For like anyone who wants it. But everybody will eat all the Italian food. And then, Easter egg hunt for all the kids. What about you?
We don't have family around, so we haven't really done anything big. The last couple years it's been during spring break. So we've been away with like our friends, Jeff and April and Matt and Katrina, and we've done like a big Easter egg hunt for the kids. And, but this year it's a little bit before spring break. So I think we'll probably still do a big Easter egg hunt and then maybe go to like Avondale's. They do like a car parade, like a classic car parade during Easter. And then they throw candy at the kids, which is like Max's favorite thing ever.
Oh, nice. I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah. I mean, any holiday, they'll throw candy at kids. I think the people just really like it.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you guys put money in your Easter eggs?
My mom does. Yeah. So like, actually, I think my ex-husband's mom does too.
I had never seen that before. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm like, is that an Atlanta thing? But we went our first Easter here. We had like just moved, and our friend Virginia. So Virginia, we love Virginia. She invited our family to come to their Easter celebration at her parents' house, and her mom was like the consummate, just like entertainer. She was like went all out, and
that doesn't surprise me just because I've met Virginia and her sister, and
yes,
they're both great. Yeah.
Yes. And so her mom like had an Easter basket even for Max, but she went all out and did like and had money in the Easter eggs, and I never seen that before. And so there were like, some of them had coins, and then there was one that had a $20 bill, and the kids like went nuts. It was amazing. And so now we do that just because from their tradition. I love that.
I love that. It's great. The kids love the money. There's no threat of like melting chocolate in the house that somebody didn't find or in the yard or whatever. Yeah. And then you're not just stuck with all this like candy that you're just going to throw away because you don't want your kid to eat all that candy. Right. So it's just, I think money is the way to go.
I think money is the way to go. Let's pay those kids.
Maybe socks. Put some socks in there.
Put some socks, some erasers.
Everybody always needs socks. Yeah. Do you ever buy like the pantyhose that were in the
legs?
Yeah, the legs and the eggs. Yes. I remember like recently, I want to say it was like a year ago, I had to buy, I bought it for like, I had to wear some kind of a dress, but it was the winter time and whatever. And I went and bought pantyhose. And I remember my friend Carly's husband, Tim, being like, pantyhose? Do girls still wear those like in the eggs? Are you going to go to the grocery store and get in the eggs? I'm like, I think so. Like, I truly don't even know where you get them. Like, I'm just going to try my luck at the grocery store. And sure enough, I found the little eggs and they were covered in like an inch of dust.
Oh my God, that's
don't
amazing.
Do this, lady. Nobody does this like, anymore.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Like as soon as I picked up the egg, it was like that, like a Wild West. Tumbleweeds, music in the background, and I was like, I kind of have to though. I have to. And I
remember my friend Megan in law school. So when I graduated from law school, and it's a long time ago, but not that long ago. But it was like mandatory. Like women, you had to wear a skirt suit. Yeah. And you had to wear pantyhose. And she was like, if you ever just want to like really embarrass someone, watch them put on pantyhose. Because it's just like the most awkward thing, like all of your body squeezing into them. I was like, oh, it's so true.
I'm pretty sure I think one time I got dressed in front of Jim and I was wearing like black tights and I was just like, this ain't gonna be pretty. So no. There's no sexy way to do this. So
No.
turn around. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, just give
it's-
like eye contact while somebody is putting on or taking off pantyhose. It is.
It's the worst. It's like equivalent to when like your toddler is pooping in their diaper and staring at you. Right?
Yeah. I had to like at one point be like,
You're
Max,
like,
you
"Just
cannot
stop.
look at me.
Don't look at
you
me."
cannot.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to our lists.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, I am first this week. And I found this article again. I think it was like targeted to me. It like came
Yeah.
up in my feed, and I think it's.
And you were like, thank you, universe. I'll take this.
I think the universe knows that I'm like dating again, and I'm getting back out there. So it was like this list was sent to me, and it was people are revealing telltale signs that show when someone is a terrible person.
Yes.
Like, please don't make another mistake. So this is from BuzzFeed.com, and it's written by Raven Ishak. And I just want to say, none of my exes are terrible people.
No.
I need to say that first. I just thought that it was funny that this was targeted to me. Anyway, so it was compiled by Raven Ishak. These are 17 signs that people say are the telltale trait that can reveal if someone is a terrible person.
Okay, can we just place bets for ourselves? How many of these do you think that you have? How many of these do I think that I'm going to be like, wait, I do that? Okay, I'm going to guess 2 for me.
Two?
I'm gonna guess
Okay.
2.
I'm gonna take one.
All right.
One. Mm-hmm. So you do 2 and I'll do 1.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Winner has to buy the other person dinner.
Okay.
Or loser has to buy the other person dinner.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Okay. Number 1, making your children upset in order to record it and post it for internet points.
Oh, no. I would
Yeah,
never.
I hate that. I hate seeing that. Like that. I know there's a ton of drama around her, and there's a podcast about it. Ruby Frankie.
Oh my
girl
God. I
or
mean,
whatever.
she like abused her
Abused
children.
her children,
in like
yeah.
the most horrific way. That's
But it's just so wild to me that for so long she had such a following doing this blatantly and openly abusing her children. It was horrible.
Yeah, that, I mean, she was definitely somebody who, when she was a mommy blogger, she was humiliating her children for views, and people were eating it up. And like, that is, it's so sickening to me.
It is sickening. This one is people who treat servers, rideshare drivers, and convenience store clerks disrespectfully. Character is how you treat the people you'll never see again. I wholeheartedly
Yes, that
believe
is like
in that.
a instant, I cannot be friends with you. I could never date somebody who was like rude to people in the service industry, or just to strangers. Like, it just is. Anybody who
Absolutely.
treats anyone else like they're below them is
Absolutely.
that's a no.
If I'm on a date with someone and if they don't say like please and thank you and make eye contact with the server, there's no second date.
Yeah. If they don't say thank you every single time the server does anything, I'm like overly like, thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Here, let me clean this up for you. It's fine.
This one says minimizing other people's experiences or pain because it doesn't match your experiences. Like, and that drives me crazy too. If someone's like, oh, well, that's nothing because I blah, 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 ailment one upper,
Yeah.
that drives me crazy. But now I'm wondering, I'm like, do I kind of do that though sometimes? Am I like, meaning like, if I'm like, if I think I'm trying to think now in certain situations, have I been like, oh, that's okay. Like in the grand scheme of things, like there are worse things that could happen and da-da-da-da-da. Like maybe I have.
We probably all do that to some point because we're trying to do it to comfort people and to say like, oh,
Yeah.
it's, that's okay. Yeah. Try. And I'm sure that there are times when it can come off as like, oh, you're not taking my pain seriously, but it's like, oh no. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I for sure do it to Max. Like I do it to my kid where I'm like trying to make him feel better about a thing. And so probably not taking his like being upset seriously. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not going to give
Like
myself that one, but
there are some added comments on here that says like for instance with invisible illnesses, I've struggled with treatment resistant depression for more than 30 years, and the people who tell me happiness is a choice or you don't have anything to be depressed about, you just look on the bright side. And I get that, like, I'm going to take this as my one. I think sometimes I don't tell depressed people that they need to look on the bright side, but I can sometimes be a little bit like woo woo with like, just ask the universe. Put it out there. You're just not asking the universe correctly. You have to believe it. Like I'll take that. Okay. So that's my one terrible person trait.
I don't know that I would not put that on you. I think you're very empathetic.
People tell me I'm an empath. I don't even know. Anybody who's ever called themselves an empath is not an empath. They're never an empath. So I won't allow someone to say that I'm empathetic because I don't want that title. Okay, number 4 is when someone complains about everyone else behind their backs. And that is definitely a telltale. Like there's a couple people in the comedy scene, I'm not going to say any names, but there are people that it's like, I've seen you say terrible things about this person, and now you're best friends with this person and you're posting about this person like you love them, but I just heard all. So it makes me tiptoe around certain groups.
Well, right, because you're like, well, what are you saying about me when I'm not in the room?
Exactly.
And like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with somebody who talks about their friends like that. Not that I'm above, not that I have not participated in any of those things before, I should say.
Number 5, being a habitual litterer.
Yes.
I don't like litterers.
I don't like litterers. Oh, I get so mad when somebody like throws something out of their car. I feel like that might be the ragiest I get because it's so like just nonsensical and like, why?
I just spent the afternoon today. Part of my job is picking, like, if, people just trash the parking lots of the buildings that I manage. And like, I, have to put on rubber gloves and clean that shit up sometimes. And it's just like, why though? Why did you just leave a whole bag of, I've watched people like open up their side door and then like in their car and then leave a grocery store bag full of trash, shut the door and drive off. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Yeah.
I know. Number 6, when the default coping mechanism is to manipulate or abuse other people. Agreed. That's definitely a terrible.
Yes.
Yeah. Number 7, refusing to wear headphones. This shit drives me crazy.
Oh, yes.
Like on the Beltline and stuff, like everybody, like, how do you know we all want to listen to what you're listening to, man? Like there's so many people that just like ride their bikes with their music blasting, or like they have like a little speaker pack and they're just like rollerblading or whatever, and it's just like, we don't all want to hear your music,
right? I'm like, are you too good for headphones? Like, what is that? I don't get that. Or people in the airport, I feel like people in the airport, maybe it's just the concentration of people who are like on their phones having conversations or on FaceTime. It's like, put your AirPods in. Put your AirPods
in. Put them in. Not accepting mistakes as mistakes, just say I fucked up. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Any employee that I've ever had, I have been so much more forgiving and accepting, and we can move on like that as soon as they say, it totally slipped my mind and I fucked up, I'm sorry. But when or like I just didn't, and I'm sorry, I messed up, or I counted it wrong, I'm sorry, or something like that. Like when they accept it, then I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
moving on. But it's when people try to give me the like, well, this happened and then that happened and then I got up late because this happened and my cat woke me up late last night, just shit like that. Like I have no patience for that. But if as soon as someone just says, yeah, I messed up,
I
I'm
did
sorry,
it. I'm
it's
sorry.
just done and it's over and you move past it.
Yes,
That's the move.
Just having that conversation. I had like a review at work, and one of the things that people said they like appreciated about me was that I will say if I don't know how to do something, and then I will go find out and say like, oh yeah, or if I don't like that, it not only like they were like she's very responsive, but also if she doesn't know something or if she messes up, she like owns up to it. And I was like, that's my whole like theory of working is like it comes from waitressing, and it is if you fill people's water up, if you keep their water filled, and if you tell them when things are happening, like if you say like, oh, that's the kitchen's running behind, your food is going to be a little bit, it's in though. Like instead of ignoring the problem, if you just address it, people will give you a good tip. Like that's it. People just want to know that they're there, that you're not forgetting about them. That's it. That's all
even when
want.
Servers say like, I totally forgot to put in your order, I'm so sorry guys. Like,
yes.
I'm like, okay. Cool.
Yeah, like, rather than like pretending like, oh yeah, let me go check on that order. It must be coming out any minute. And you're like, oh, you just obviously forgot it. Just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with you. I have so much more respect for people who just own up to their their mistakes. Cause it's like, we all do it. Everybody does it.
I know.
Yeah.
This one says, in my opinion, cheating on your significant other is one of the highest levels of betrayal a person can do to another. Agreed. Well,
yeah, I mean, I think that would definitely, you want to watch out for that.
Yeah.
in a relationship.
It kind of goes without saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, somebody underneath it said, my best friend cheated on her partner of almost 10 years. She tried to act like the victim and that it wasn't a big deal. Meanwhile, her partner blamed himself for her infidelity and was physically sick from the stress of knowing what kind of a person. Oh, and I was physically sick from the stress of knowing what kind of person she is when it comes down to the wire. Yeah, it's like if you watch somebody do something like that to their partner, then you're like, okay, well, then you will just as easily throw me under that bus, you know? So, number 10, no one should have to tell you that they are a good person. Usually I would consider that to be a sign that they are, in fact, not a good person. So true. It's so true. You can trust me. I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I've definitely said that, though. I've definitely said, I'm a good person.
Okay, that's your one.
That's my one.
Number 11 is not cleaning your dog shit on the street. Obviously.
You know,
if you don't do that, you're a real asshole.
Yep.
Although I do have to say, now I do always clean up after my dog. But my dog does this thing where she looks like she's taking a shit, but she's actually peeing. And I feel like I get looks from people all the time. And I'm like, do you want to come over here and look? There's no shit. Like, there's nothing for me to pick up. I swear to God. Look at this bag in my hand. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to pick it up. But
you should just
shit.
Pretend pick up and pretend pick it up.
I think I've done that before. Like, get off my shit. Okay. Number 12, letting things like their roommates do all the dishes and pay all the bills, getting their partner to do the majority of housework and slinking out of helping, acting as if they care about something only when someone is witnessing them, being kind only when others are watching, being cruel when others are not watching, forgetting things that don't fit their narrative about who they are. Somebody hurt this person.
I was going to say, this sounds very specific.
I know.
Having the name Joe Smith. Being an asshole who broke up with me and broke my heart.
It is so... and then this person goes on to say, it is so manipulative to cultivate a persona that is totally, I picture like Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls saying this, like, it is so manipulative to cultivate a persona that is totally false, to act the opposite of when it's advantageous. So many people use this strategy to get away with terrible behavior. And once you see their true colors, it immediately screams that they are terrible at their core. Wow.
Okie dokie.
Wow. Om nom
mean-
books. I'm so sorry that someone hurt you.
I'm sorry about
This
whatever
way.
happened.
I know. God, who is this person? It's like an Alanis Morissette song. Where's Dave Coulier?
Right?
I know.
Allegedly.
Alleged. No, I think that like they both.
Oh, did she?
Well, I saw side by side like they both went on Howard Stern at different points, and Dave Coulier was like, yeah, like I knew as soon as the sun came out, like those are things we talked about, blah blah. And then Alanis, they showed like her on Howard Stern, and she was just like, I did write it right after I dated him, but I've never officially said who it's about. But it's like it's so clear,
Right?
And so number 13, if you're a boss and you know for certain that your place is about to close up and you don't tell your crew so they could start looking for a new paycheck, absolute fucking scum. I agree. I hate that. Like if you know that your company is closing and you just let everybody go down with the sinking ship while you have time to figure out your shit, that's evil. I agree.
Yeah, those people that like show up to work and there's just a sign on the door. It's like that doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Just, you don't just close overnight.
Number 14, saying that's a you problem after causing the problem for someone else. Obviously, that's a terrible trait. Okay. Number 15, people who care more about being right than anything else. People who lie to seem better than other people. Yeah. I mean, some of these are pretty fucking obvious.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, like like Dr. Phil. I don't like Dr. Phil, but he famously said
sometimes he says some smart things.
Yeah, he says there are hard truths from Dr. Phil. Give it to you straight, son. He said, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Like in a relationship, it's like, why do you need to be? Why is being right more important to you? It's only going to hurt your relationship. So do you really win?
Yeah.
So agreed with this person. Number 16, bullying others. Whether you say it as a joke or not, you're still annoying someone else and that's wrong. So get the fuck away from my table and stay at least 6 feet away from me, Simon. I love this one.
Simon.
Yes. I get it. I don't. I mean, you and I have said this a million times. I don't like that kind of humor where it's at somebody else's expense. You know what I mean? Or like low hanging fruit and picking on someone just for the sake of a joke. It's just lazy and not cool. Yeah. And it's so clear that you have self-esteem issues if you have to do that. There's no 17. What the hell, BuzzFeed?
That's number 17 is not saying you're going to have 17 things and only having 16.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you have all of your red flags for dating, and
this is just for people in general, but I'll apply it to dating for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think, I don't, I would say we both get like a half of one. So we can just
we're good
treat
people.
each other to dinner. We're just such good people.
Good people.
All right. Well, I feel like maybe you and I were both like fired up this week because mine is also kind of like a people are the worst list.
Oh, really?
And it is from eBaum's World, and it is 15 people share their crazy neighbor stories.
Oh, I love that.
First one says, my neighbors were newlyweds and wouldn't even move into the house until they were married. I know because it's all new builds. We watched their house being built and talked to them and got the whole scoop, very traditional and religious. So they moved in a week ago. They don't have blinds yet. They are constantly fucking. At first, it was shocking. Sort of laugh as kids will be horny kids, look away. And then I noticed it when I was having breakfast, but early. Then yesterday, they were having dinner with another couple. I happened to be in my living room, and I just knew if I looked up at the right moment, and yep, They saw the others out the front door closed. He tackled her onto the stairs within 30 seconds and they were ripping off each other's clothes. I'm going to get them shutters as a housewarming gift.
Oh my God. Good for them.
Good for them.
I would not hate on that. Mm-mm.
No, but yeah, shutters.
If I had small children, I would but you could also put shutters on your own house.
You sure could.
Put
shutters on your eyes.
Put shutters on your eyes.
You got your eye shutters. Okay, my upstairs neighbors once screamed at each other for a half an hour at 3 a.m. over whether or not he pissed on her computer. Just so great.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
It must be like an in his sleep kind of thing.
I remember one time getting a noise complaint, like from us, like I'm landlord, so I get noise complaints all the time.
Yeah.
But I was living with my good friend Patrick, and we used to have people over all the time.
Right.
And I remember getting a noise complaint, and they were like, it was like a letter, and it said that like we were listening to like something like about us listening to Eminem's "Lose Yourself," but like we were doing it like to be funny, and then they're like, and then it just sounded like a bunch of like running and jumping and giggling and running and jumping and giggling, and it was like, oh, that's when we were trying to do the Dirty Dancing lift. Yeah, that was. I was like running and jumping. Oh yeah, right. We did do that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Third floor apartment in an old building, and thought it would be a great idea at like 2 a.m. to like perfect the lift. Yeah.
But did you nail it?
I think in my mind I did.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
I would love some footage of that. Some fly on the wall footage. It would be amazing.
We're all bad sometimes. Yeah.
This one made me think of something I saw on. So this one says, my neighbor across the street had their house raided for drugs. Like legit SWAT team swarmed the neighborhood, hid under cars, closed off the street, rammed down their door with a battering ram and shit. It was intense.
Oh, wow.
Which made me think of this post that I saw on like a mom's group that I'm in, which this woman was like a year ago was like, oh my God, I live in a house next door to like TikTok content makers. And so apparently there are like these houses where like a whole bunch of kids who are like big influencers will rent a house together and they'll like set it up so they can make content.
Yeah.
And they were like, there's just people there all the time. It's so loud and and like, there's like tons of people in the backyard. And it's like, this was like in like a nice neighborhood. Well, then she posted again, just like a couple months ago and was like, not a TikTok house. It was like a notorious cult leader. So there was a fucking cult next door. I'll have to send you the article, but it is, it's like in our general neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that made me think of like, you never know what people are doing inside their own houses. She was like, it's not a TikTok house.
It's crazy. I've seen some crazy shit in going in people's apartments.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
God, I bet.
It's wild.
Okay.
Let me just tell you, it's always the prettiest. It's always the prettiest, most put together girls that are living amongst piles and piles of cat litter and dog shit and like piles of food stuck to the ground, but they have nice clothes. It's like, it's so fun. It's crazy to me. It's like crazy, it's always to me. The people you least expect. Yeah.
I remember my friend was dating this woman when we were in our 20s, and he like, we were like all friends, but like with her too. And then one time I like went to go pick him up at her house and he like wasn't ready. And I walked in and I was like, oh my God, she is a hoarder. And he was like, yeah, I don't know what to do about it. And I was like, it was like like so disgusting. And she was like, again, just such a put together person. It was like, she owned this house. She was like, had a job, did all the things. And it was just like, animal smells and it's bad.
Yeah.
They didn't last. Okay. This one says, live near a family with 8 kids and 0 parental surveillance. The youngest, about 4 years old, was usually naked, sometimes carried a knife almost as big as he was, and one time climbed on top of a shopkeeper's car and just sort of did a nude Michael Jackson dance for like 10 minutes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
One time my mother told the kid's dad about him running around with a knife, and he started screaming about how he's not a fucking octopus. Oh, and one of his daughters knocked on our door and asked to borrow a chicken.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
When we lived in West Virginia, our across the street neighbors were like real West Virginia, and they had a kid that used to, I mean, now I have a naked baby, a kid who like loves to be naked, but this kid was like always naked, and he was outside and he would just like piss in the front yard, and he always was outside with just like big old like rain boots and just butt naked.
We had a naked neighbor too growing up on Long Island. He was always naked and would just like pee in the front yard all the time.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. I mean, Max he's a naked inside cat, so you know, we don't send him outside anymore naked. Before I moved out, I lived with my family on a gravel road in the middle of nowhere. Our neighbor to the north was some old crack addict who lived with her boyfriend. Police have been called on her several times because she has a knack for mowing her lawn on her riding mower, butt ass naked.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? Be like, oh, Perlene's up to it again. She's out mowing the lawn. I know it wasn't actually him, but I had this running joke that my old neighbor was DMX working on his comeback. The guy shared a wall with my bedroom and would record from midnight to 5 a.m. I'd often have to pack a bag and head to my boyfriend's place when I'd hear him get home. I tried going over once at 3 a.m. and knocking on his door. He opened the door with a hood and sunglasses on and asked if he was being loud. I said yes. And he said, well, fuck you, I'm making music. And then slammed the door to my face. When he rapped, he sounded so much like DMX that I'd bring people over to listen and we'd joke about his comeback. Eventually, he got kicked out, and we found out he converted the entire apartment into a recording studio. Then DMX dropped a new album, so who knows?
Oh my God, wow. That's crazy. Zach used to have this neighbor before we lived together when we were younger. He had this neighbor in an apartment complex who just decided he would come out in the middle of the night and garden. And now it wasn't like his job. He wasn't the gardener, but he like would make all these little like almost like fairy garden sort of like little intricate little things like all over any grassy area you could find, any shrubbery or whatever. It would just, and it grew and grew and grew and grew, and it took over the whole complex. And we like figured out that the guy I think he was like selling meth out of there, but he was definitely doing it. So we would just get high on meth and then like garden all night long.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this has got to be some kind of drug-induced like frenzy.
Totally. It was crazy, but like I guess like whoever the property manager or landlord was, like just let him. Like, I mean, as long as I have that kind of that mentality is like as long as nobody's complaining and everybody's happy, whatever. And so it was like I don't think anybody like complained about the little like mushrooms and the little elves and the fairies or whatever, but it was really funny to look at. Yeah,
that's hilarious. This one is kind of similar. This a few months ago, I heard one of my neighbors, not sure which apartment because the acoustics here are fucking terrible, get in a shouting match with someone over the phone. The quote that sticks out the most: I don't do heroin, all right? I don't do heroin. I sell heroin. It's good money too.
I love that.
Okay, this is my last one, but it says, my neighbor used to vacuum his lawn.
Oh my God. Wow. That sounds like that. Maybe it's the meth guy.
Maybe
that
it's
sounds
the
like
meth
something
guy.
he would do.
He's moved
on. Oh my God. That's so funny.
I would like to hear if anybody has good neighbor stories.
There's got to be great. So many. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do our list, our top 5. this week we are doing, because in celebration of Easter, which has already passed but has not passed in our world, we're doing our top 5 Easter treats.
Easter, treats. Because I was
We're doing our.
how many candies are there?
I know. I'm like, we're gonna do some of these.
Listen,
on the fly.
this one's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch, but you try coming up with top 5s every week. I'll just say that. And if you can think of one, please send it to us because we will happily do it on our next episode.
Oh my gosh, please send us your
Please.
top 5s.
Yes.
All right, well, I can go first.
Okay.
My top 5 Easter candy is Cadbury mini eggs. Do you know
The
what I'm
the
talking
ones that are like the robin's eggs?
Yes, the ones that
Where
look
it's
like the
just
robin's eggs.
chocolate and covered in the shell.
Yes, and it's like I don't
Strong agree. I love.
I don't know that I don't know that I necessarily like them, but when I have one, it's like you cannot stop eating them. They are so crispy and delicious, and I would
amazing.
never. I don't buy them any other time. I mean, I don't even know if they're available any other time. But yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 5 is either coconut cake or like when people make that rabbit cake with the coconut shavings on it. I just love coconut. I know you
Gross, I hate-
strongly
I
disagree.
strongly disagree.
But I feel like there's always like coconut cake happening somewhere on Easter.
Yes, there
Yeah.
is, and I'm always like,
And I'm a
"Ugh,
fan.
No,
I love it. Okay.
All right.
What's your next one?
Okay, my next one is robin's eggs.
Those are the same thing.
No, it's different things. These robin's eggs are Whoppers.
Okay, I call those malt ball eggs.
Oh, okay. Well, then malt ball eggs.
Okay, that's what I have. It's my number 4.
No way.
Yeah, uh-huh.
No way.
Yes. Yeah, I like them. I thought you were going to disagree. A lot of people don't like that malt ball Whoppers.
I love
love
malt
it.
balls. I love a malt milkshake. I love a malt Whopper. I like anything. I like all the malts.
Like, what makes malt? Like, what is malt? I don't even know.
Oh gosh, I don't.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
Google
either.
it. All right. What is malt? It's a sweetener with a distinct toasted caramel-like fruity flavor. Okay. Now we know
Okay.
what we like.
Okay.
So it's a cereal grain that is made to germinate by soaking in water and then stop from germinating further by drying with hot air, a process known as malting. Huh. Interesting.
All right. You learned
We
something
learned something
new
today. Yes, we did. Okay. So we both have mothball eggs as our number 4. So
Okay.
what's your number 3?
Okay, so my number 3 is Starburst jelly beans.
Okay, those are good.
Yeah, and again, I don't like jelly beans. I don't necessarily think I like them any other time, but when you're like scraping the bottom of the Easter basket and you're looking for that, it shakes up in the Easter egg,
Yeah.
something spills out, there's just something really good about them.
Especially when they've been rubbing up against loose change.
Especially
For
when they were
better
especially when
part
they're
of the day.
dirty bills.
My number 3 is deviled eggs. My sister-in-law makes the best deviled eggs, and I'm
I should've
always
put deviled
happy to
eggs in
have
there.
them on Easter. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, deviled eggs is a good one. I do love deviled eggs. I think that's like having a Southern mom, and she
It's a
always,
Southern thing. Yeah.
always made deviled eggs, always made, like, for Easter, deviled eggs, potato salad, like anything that had like mayonnaise and mustard in it. Mix it
Yeah.
up, make it delicious.
And eggs.
And
Yum.
eggs. Okay, so my number 2 is Cadbury cream eggs. I, again, on a normal day wouldn't choose it, but I think there is just something. Ben and I we always like joke that we're having like when we first see them in the stores, we always buy one and have our first Cadbury cream egg of the season.
That's adorable.
And then it's also our last Cadbury cream egg, but
I can't do those. They're just too much for me.
they're too
It's
much.
just
They
cream.
are.
So
You're not wrong.
I like your splitting.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
method for getting through the Easter season.
That's cool.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
My number 2 are peanut butter eggs, like Reese's peanut butter cups, but they make it in the shape of an egg.
Obviously,
or a bunny.
amazing.
I'll eat
Yeah.
either one.
Yeah.
So it's always a fave.
Yeah, I mean, well, that is my number one. I mean, I think
That's your number one?
I'm
Okay.
shocked that it's not your number one.
Do you know
And
what
I'm
my number
very
one
curious.
is?
What?
I put robin's eggs. The eggs that are the
Oh.
chocolate with the coating. I'm pretty sure they're called robin's eggs, no? Googling.
I don't Googling.
Robin's
I
eggs.
thought they were the Cadbury
Candy.
mini eggs.
Nope, they're called robin's eggs. No. You were right and I am wrong.
Yes.
And I can admit it because I'm a good person. Robin's eggs are the Whoppers. You're right. And okay, now I'm Googling Cadbury mini eggs. Yep. And what that's what I like. I like the Cadbury mini eggs. You were right and I was wrong. Robin's eggs are the malted and the
I'm
Whoppers.
going-
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna take that audio out and I'm gonna just loop it. You were right. and I was
am
wrong.
You're right. I will admit it. I'm good at saying I'm wrong. It's actually one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. You're like, I don't get the opportunity that often because I'm mostly right, but like
Well, I did have somebody recently say to me in a situation, said like, you never apologize, you never admit when you're wrong. And I'm like, dude, that's like my favorite thing to do. That's all I do. I always say when I'm wrong.
I'm with you. It's like one of the things where I'm like, I will readily say if I'm wrong. I will readily admit if I am wrong or if I messed up. Like, because mostly I'm just like, let's get it behind us.
Exactly.
Move on.
Exactly.
I don't want to have to ruminate and be anxious about this for the rest of my fucking life. Like, let's just say I'm wrong and keep going.
Can I tell you something that I just discovered?
What is it?
Cadbury mini eggs on both Walmart.com and Hersheyland.com have a 2-star rating. What in the actual fuck, America? What the fuck? You're all wrong. You're all wrong. But
I
Amazon,
mean,
4.5 stars.
If Jen and I can agree on this, and we do not agree on candy really ever, except for Reese's peanut butter cups, then like America needs to get on board.
Come on, America. Come on, Hersheyland.
All right.
man.
Well, we want to hear obviously about what you guys got in your Easter baskets. We want to hear what's your favorite Easter candy and treat. Do you want Jen to make you a little bunny cake and bring it over full of coconut? Let us know.
I will.
She'll deliver it in person, no matter where you are. Get in touch with us. We are on the internets. We're on Instagram at The Ridiculous Pod. We're on TikTok at The Ridiculous Podcast. You could rate and review. You could tell a friend. We would love that.
We would. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you over on Instagram where we chat and talk. Other words for talking.
Converse.
Mingle. We'll see you over there. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next week on The Ridiculous.
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous.